Hello YouTube! Flashlight Enthusiast here. I'm so excited to finally review the first new generation Imalent MS12 Mini here. I know it has been on the market for quite some time, but lately I had a purchase opportunity for both MS12 Mini and newest MR90. I purchased this one for my own money to test this one finally, and I'm so excited to show you guys my final verdict about this flashlight after about a month of use. So without further ado, let's get started to show you the box. This one looks really premium. We've got standard blue accents from Imalent, European version obviously of the charger. You can also order the UK or the US one. Here we've got the beautiful Imalent logo, again blue accents. Here on the rear some QR codes and company address. Not much information though on this box. Let's remove the outer cardboard part, and when you slide it out you get exactly same box, but the true one, the cardboard one with magnetic opening, which is always a nice addition. Inside we can find the multi-language manual, proprietary barrel charger, two spare O-rings, as well as quite interesting looking lanyard. Last but not least, a holster and a flashlight inside this one. What I have to mention about the holster is the great fit. Also we have the D-ring, Velcro loop here, standard loop here. This one is actually well designed. I had some problems with other Imalent holsters from MR90, but this one from MS12 in my opinion is great because even wider belts can accommodate in this loop, and I can put this on my belt without any problems. What I like to do is to put those bigger flashlights on a belt instead of pockets when I go out for a walk with them to test them. So this holster definitely meets my needs in this area. Alright, Velcro is quite nice, holding steady. The fabric is not as stiff as the one from AceBeams, for example, but they do provide a good fit, so I wouldn't worry about this one. Alright, let's take out the flashlight. So before operating, make sure to remove the dust-proof cover from the lens, as well as unscrew the battery pack and remove the insulation film. I have to clean those contacts just a little bit with alcohol because they were a little bit dirty, to make them clean if they need so. Alright, coming back to the flashlight itself. Wow, it's amazingly performing flashlight with great looks and outstanding build quality. Guys, the anodization is slightly glossy as you can see, so the scratches that might probably happen won't be so much visible on this type of anodization. The build quality is just top notch in this newest Imalent. We've got 3 built-in cooling fans. They're actually glued together to cool the flashlight in those highest modes. They do turn on automatically, mind you, but you can also turn them on while the flashlight is off to cool it down, because yeah, it's a practical feature because this flashlight can get really hot, as this sign might suggest. Alright, we've got great knurling here on the battery pack actually. This does feature 4 built-in 21700 cells inside this battery pack. This battery pack is also interchangeable with their newest MR90 flashlights. They're identical except for the tail cap that protects the port cover. This is the model engraved here, but apart from this one, the MR90 battery pack is identical. So when you order this one on the website, these are actually the same. Just make sure you get the right tail cap. Alright, here we've got some lanyard attachments here, identical as in MS12, MS18, etc, etc. This is the identical style here, and to access the charging port you just unscrew this metal piece and you've got the barrel port. The charging is quite fast, mind you. It took me precisely 2 hours to charge this one every single time, so charging is really quite fast. I wish there was a USB-C instead of this barrel port. Let's face it, we live in the 2022, depending on when you're watching this video, but for some reason other manufacturers can make a fast charger with the USB-C 65 watts or even 100 watts chargers, and Imalent still sticks to the barrel charging, which is a little inconvenience for me because I still have to carry a spare charger to charge one single or two Imalents instead of taking one charger for every flashlight, my phone, my computer, etc, etc. So definitely in the future I would like to see the USB-C charging port instead of this barrel charger. Nevertheless, it is fast, it is convenient, just plug in and forget when the charging is in progress. You will see the red indicator around here, and when the charging isn't finished it will turn to green. All right, moving on here, we've got the metal switch that rotates freely. It might get upset with some of you, and we've got two LED here to show you the battery status, the lockout status, etc. So when you turn the flashlight on, you will see the battery indicator here glowing either green, red, or flashing red. When the flashlight is off, this indicator disappears. In some Imalents you could actually enable the location LEDs, like, you know, to find the flashlight in the dark. In this one, unfortunately, is not present. I wish there was, but well, the hold button is some for other action. And looking here, 12 XHP70.2 LEDs, perfectly centered and aligned in those individual orange peel reflectors. God, this is beautiful. This is really a true piece of art in the technology world. Slightly anti-reflective coating, nice quality glass. Oh my gosh, this is the truly highest quality we experience here from Imalent, as it should be from a $400 flashlight, don't you think? Possibly there is also the XHP70.3 high intensity version coming this year, which will enhance throw, but also will be a little bit less powerful, but with clean beam, no tinge whatsoever. Although I have to admit that this one actually is quite nice beam despite the orange peel, quite deep reflectors. Look at this one. All right, it is quite deep and will provide you a nice good amount of throw, but also a wide beam that will illuminate just everything inside of you. It's a really good combination of flat and throw, and slightly crenulated bezel here. This thing is just beautiful, and you can feel the weight definitely, but not as much as I expected. You know, if you have to choose to have 30,000 lumen more in this gigantic body, and have like 65,000 lumens, which is still an unbelievable amount of brightness in such a compact body that you can throw into your pocket instead of, you know, carrying the 2 kilogram flashlight on the special strap on your shoulder, then I think the choice is obvious. Here is for comparison the AceBeam X50 version 2.0, 21700 cells, so slightly smaller in diameter, but as you can see, this Imalent is very compact for the power it offers. All right, this is the neutral white version. Here's the cool white. You can definitely see some differences in LED color, but what Imalent did here is just amazing. How compact this flashlight is. And I think this is quite brilliant to use the cooling fans to actually get rid of those excess heat from the LEDs and make you the prolonged usage of higher modes. Although it is not perfect, mind you, but I think that with those cooling fans we can see a huge trend in the flashlight industry. I think more and more manufacturers will incorporate such system to make the cooling more efficient and to provide higher currents, higher lumens for longer runtimes. Obviously, the drawback is that it will eat up your batteries much quicker because of the higher output. But on the other hand, also the drawback is that those cooling fans produce much noise, which in the, you know, calm and quiet forest might be a problem. But let's show you the user interface real quick. So one click for on, one click for off. If you need to go into the lowest setting, which is extremely convenient with such high power, 1, 2, 3, from on or off, it doesn't matter. When you hold the switch, you cycle between low, middle 1, that's when the fans come in, then middle 2, high, and then turbo output double tap. This is insanely bright. I can't watch this. Sorry guys, this is just insanely bright. Head of this flashlight is already getting quite hot. No surprise here, but it's heating up in a matter of seconds. So that's the job of those free cooling fans. All right, and then if you'd like to go to the strobe mode, double click for turbo output, double tap for strobe mode. From turbo output, you can also hold the switch to go into the loop again, into the lowest level. So if I jump right into the middle one and triple click, it goes right into the lowest setting. All right. You have also the lockout mode, so 4 clicks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Sometimes it goes into the turbo and strobe, so bear in mind you have to click it quite fast. 1, 2, 3, 4 again to unlock it. As you can see, the indication for lockout is still blinking green. I'm not sure why not red, but it is just like that in my sample. A little bit confusing, but well, it is as it is. All right. And you can also activate the fans if your flashlight is turned off, but you still feel that you need to cool it down with the fans. You just hold the switch and you can activate the fans without turning on the flashlight itself. To turn them off, either hold the switch or just press it once to turn on the flashlight and the fans go off automatically. All right. The weird thing is that obviously the heat stops right in this portion of flashlight because of the cooling fans, but unfortunately the switch can get a little bit hot, all right? And that's where I would like to see the handle, all right? It's so simple. Attach the handle here, for example, make a thread here, or I don't know, somewhere here to make the handle for this flashlight, because this one does really get hot, and I'm not sure why Imalent missed such an opportunity to get the handle for this one. Obviously you can hold it very comfortably in lower modes when the fans are in use, for example the middle 2, which is around 13,000 lumens declared. This flashlight barely gets hot, you know, for prolonged use, like 40 minutes, this flashlight builds up heat very slowly, so you can barely feel it with the fans going on. This is brilliant for in this lower and middle modes. This flashlight is a beast, you know. In this turbo and high modes, obviously because of the heat and the small area that these LEDs are accommodated in, this flashlight gets really hot and you have to be prepared for it, especially in the hotter environment. But in middle modes and lower modes, this flashlight is just amazing because you get the unbelievable amount of light coming out of this thing, and it still is cool when other flashlights without cooling fans are getting hotter and hotter. What is interesting actually is that you can lock out your Imalent MS12 Mini and still be able to turn on fans by holding the button while the flashlight is off. And then you can still turn it off by holding the switch again. And you can also unlock the flashlight while the fans are on and start operating it normally. So be careful, because in the case when you throw it up, you lock out the flashlight, but still you can have accidentally fans turned on. And this is the battery pack for the MS12 Mini, but also MR90, as I've mentioned. Here I've got nice gold plated contacts, and probably you can disassemble this by yourself because there are 2 screws visible. I wouldn't recommend this one. Here is the contacts on the head. You also can unscrew those 2 screws without any problems. These are not glued, and threads are quite nice, thick and well lubricated. No problem with this. A little bit short, so there might be problem with heat transfer. But on the other hand, it might be beneficial for the user, because if the heat stops at the head and you can still hold the flashlight by the battery pack, well, win-win in my opinion. Wouldn't it be cool if the MS18 battery pack would fit the MS12 Mini? How much longer runtime we could achieve? But unfortunately, compactness won, and as you can see, the threads are definitely not compatible. But I would like to see in the future the version or the option to buy a spare battery pack to increase the size of the handle, but also increase drastically the runtime and the performance of the MS12 Mini. Because let's face it, the runtimes on this one are not the longest. These are the lumen levels I measured on my homemade lumen tube from Texas Ace. If you need more time, feel free to pause the video. Just bear in mind that the spacing on my sample is not ideal, and I have to address it. It looks really disappointing a bit. Alright, so here's the turbo output of the MS12 Mini in cool white. So as you've seen, I've measured over 64,000 lumens at startup. As you can see, after 22 seconds, we still got over 55,000 lumen before the massive step down over the course of 30 seconds to around 8,500 lumen level after hitting 70 degrees Celsius, mind you. Okay, this thing gets really hot. Alright, and then as you can see, I'm really pleased because Imalent finally produced their high power flashlight with flat stabilization of output. And as you can see, we've got a nice flat 8,866 lumens around, obviously, over the course of 42 minutes. And the flashlight did stabilize at around 60 degrees Celsius. Alright, let's jump to high mode. Here I measured 23,500 lumens at startup. And as you can see, we've got nice 4.5 minutes of this amazing output. Then we've got the step down from over 21,116 lumens over the course of 6 seconds, so quite fast, to again around 8,500 lumens after hitting 65 degrees Celsius, so substantially cooler than the turbo output. And then again, flat stabilization of output around 8,856 lumens over the course of 40 minutes. And here the body stabilized at around 54 degrees Celsius. All right, here the middle two, so around 9,790 lumens measured at startup, and nice flat stabilization of output, so around 9,000 lumens over the course of 49 minutes, and the body stabilized at 58 degrees Celsius. And last but not least, the middle one, here around 3,890 lumens and flat stabilized output, again very nice on all levels. Around 3,660 lumens over the course of almost 2 hours, and the flashlight body did stabilize at 37 degrees. Alright, summing up guys, what can I say about this Imalent MS12 Mini that I already haven't talked about? You know, this flashlight is just the pinnacle of today's technology. I mean, those built-in cooling fans is really the next level of performance, and as I mentioned, I think more and more manufacturers will try to incorporate such patent into their flashlight to increase the maximum level and sustainable output in higher modes. But for me, really, and I can repeat this over and over again, the true miracle is that you can have this flashlight turn on at about 10,000 lumens, where the most flashlights will get like crazy hot after a couple of minutes, but this really has its advantage with the fans that it runs really cool and give you amazing amount of light coming out of those 12 LEDs. Obviously the probably XHP70.3 high intensity LEDs coming out this year soon, so stay tuned. The flashlight is built in excellent quality. You've got the good amount of battery capacity. I wish there was an option for 8 cell battery pack, and obviously guys, please if Imalent watches this, please don't stick to the barrel charger anymore guys. We live in 2022. We need USB-C charging for more universal and faster charging, and please don't tell me that you cannot provide enough current with the USB-C because you have like 65 watts, 100 watts USB-C charging technology, and you can charge the 4 battery pack in like 1.5 hours without any problems. Competition does it, so why cannot you? Alright, please don't be greedy for an extra charger from you. I really like the button here, is really responsive and well clicking, and the beam pattern is just amazing, as you've seen in the beamshots video guys. So I'm really concerned about this, the cooling fans. If anything happens to them, it is definitely not user serviceable, and I wish there was the option to turn them off while the flashlight is on, just be in silence while you're in the forest. But I understand that from user perspective the safety is a major concern, so well, it is as it is. Alright, I haven't had any problems with waterproofness with these fans, where the MR90 gave up on me, but this one didn't, and this actually has the IP68 waterproofness norm, so I suspect there shouldn't be any problems. But well, just be careful with this one and don't drop it into the water, because if anything happens to the fans, there are cables coming out of this flashlight body, and that's where the water could potentially go into the flashlight, and then we have a big problem. All right, so just be careful. But after that, I guess I have no reservations to this flashlight, except for maybe weird mode spacing, but I can live with that. Handle would be obviously highly appreciated for such construction. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button for more videos to come, and to support the algorithm of this channel. If you have any questions concerning Imalent MS12 Mini or any other topic, please leave them in the comment section down below. As always guys, thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for more videos to come. We'll see you in the next one.